Welcome to the Best Effects video series, where I'll demonstrate how to achieve interesting guitar effects for live performance heard in popular songs. In this first video of the series, I'm going to break down the effects I've dialed in for Fake Plastic Trees by Radiohead. I'll be using Strymon's Mobius, Timeline, and BigSky, as well as Eventide's H9. First, a quick run-through of how the final presets sound. Preset number 1 provides a pad-like ethereal atmosphere over the verses of the song. For the dry signal, I'm playing on the neck humbucker using a clean preamp that's just on the verge of having a little hair. A compressor helps sustain and even out the single note lines. The first added effect is a volume swell. You can choose to do this with the guitar's volume knob, a volume pedal, or other effect unit. I chose the AutoSwell effect on the Mobius pedal because it's always consistent, won't add any noise, and it's one less thing I have to manipulate while playing on stage. The rise parameter determines the length of time it takes the signal to reach maximum volume. For every note picked, the volume will automatically drop to 0 before rising again. The shape parameter determines how the volume rises. I've chosen logarithmic so that the volume rises slowly at first and then picks up speed towards the end. The speed and depth parameters add a chorusing effect to the signal, and here I've set them to modulate the waveform. On top of the volume swell effect is a shimmer reverb. This is a pitch-shifted effect applied to the reverb signal only. The two shift parameters determine the interval of the pitch shift. Shift 1 is using a 1-octave shift up, and Shift 2 is using a 2-octave shift up. The amount parameter sets the level of the shifted voice in relation to the input signal. I have it full up for a more intense shimmer effect. The mode parameter determines where the shimmer is applied in the signal, either to the input or regenerating on the reverb itself. I have it set to regenerate. This causes each regeneration of the reverb to rise in pitch, which intensifies the overall swell effect. The mix level is set so that none of the dry signal is heard, only the reverb. And the tone parameter is set darker, which better suits the mellowness of the song. Preset number 2 is a dark whirling sound that lays behind the acoustic guitar. It's a bit different than the sound on the album, which has more air and organ character, but this sound suits me better playing the guitar live. The dry signal is the same as in preset number 1, except that I reduced the guitar's volume about 30%. The only effect used for this preset is a Rotary, which simulates a rotating speaker cabinet commonly used with tone wheel organs. Horn level is the output volume of the high-frequency horn driver. Preamp drive brings in the character of the rotary cabinet's tube preamp. Turning this up adds a slightly more compressed and complex overdrive sound. The depth knob controls the distance the microphones are from the horn driver. The higher the setting, the more intense the rotary sound. Preset number 3 is similar to preset number 1 in that they both pitch shift and swell the signal. However, the way they go about it is different. To start with, though, they both use the same dry signal. Also, this preset shares the AutoSwell setting in the Mobius used in preset number 1. On the album, I can hear dense layers of strings, pitch-shifted delays, and organs. Since I can't do all of this live, the shimmer effect I made for preset number 1 covers the more prominent notes and sounds. However, there are a couple passages that have a distinct delay type of sound as the note crescendos. For this, I've used the crystals effect of the H9, which is a pitch shift effect with 2 independent reversed delay lines. The mix parameter is the balance between the dry signal and the effect. The pitch mix is the ratio of level between the 2 independent pitch and delay lines. You can isolate just one pitch and delay line or mix them together. To make more sense of how this effect works, I'm going to demonstrate the delay lines individually and then mix them together at the end. Here is pitch shift A alone. Pitch A's interval is set just a few cents shy of an octave. The delay time controls the speed of the repeats, which also determines how quickly the interval will rise during the regeneration of the signal. Feedback controls the number of repeats. Here, pitch A repeats and rises as high as it can go before disappearing. Now, I'll change the pitch mix so that pitch B is heard alone. Pitch shift B's interval is set just a few cents below the original pitch for a slightly detuned effect. The delay time is half that of pitch A, for quicker repeats that fill in the sound between pitch A's repeats. Feedback provides a dozen or so repeats for pitch B. To finalize the preset, I mix the 2 delay lines together equally.